Hi, welcome to Bar Cart Bookshelf, a video series about books and the drinks they inspire. My name is Elias, and today we're talking about A Drop of Corruption by Robert Jackson Bennett. A Drop of Corruption is the second Anna and Din mystery following last year's The Tainted Cup. These are a series of secondary world mystery novels, detective novels in a world where every season monstrous beasts from the deep, leviathans, come ashore and wreak havoc. And it is only the systems, the bureaucracy, the science that borders on magic, this alchemical power of plants and strange botany that keeps people safe and keeps the leviathans at bay. And amid all of that danger, we have Anna and Din tasked with investigation of murder, fraud, danger, and corruption. And here in A Drop of Corruption, we have gone from the sort of core of these imperial outskirts where the Leviathans come ashore, as we had in Book 1, and go northward to the, still on the outskirts, on the periphery of the empire, but on the very edge into a sort of client kingdom, a political entity that is independent but deeply tied in to the empire and on track to be absorbed within the imperial structure within about 10 years from where the action of our novel begins. And we find, as we come to this kingdom, city, state region, that a treasury official has been murdered. And this leads to revelations of other longer crimes, theft, smuggling, strange corruption, yes, but sabotage. Sabotage, that's the word that we really want. In one of the most important imperial research facilities, an island off the coast called the Shroud. And it's all orchestrated by one man with a sort of augmented preternatural understanding of the world, this sort of seeming genius who escapes at every turn and has blood that isn't his. And it's all very strange. And of course, we have our investigators with their own augmentations and their own methodologies of research and understanding on the case. It really is just an absolutely fantastic series. I want, a dozen of these novels, and I want to read them all in order, but I also want, to see people have the experience of, that long-standing mystery series experience where they're all standalones, so you've got people who are just reading, I've read books 2, 4, and 7, but not, 1, 3, 5, whatever. I want that for this series, and for me, and to see it, because they are just so good. They're thinking about ideas and statecraft in the same way as some of my favorite epic fantasy novels, works like The Traitor Baru Cormorant, or Ken Liu's Dandelion Dynasty, The Craft Sequence, but they are also just darn good, well-crafted mystery novels. I think if you are a mystery reader, primarily or solely, you're going to get as much enjoyment out of this as you would if you were a fantasy and science fiction reader. Just really clever crime fiction that makes full use of this fantastical milieu in which it's set. They are such good books. I raved about The Tainted Cup last spring. I'm raving about A Drop of Corruption right now, and as soon as the next of these mysteries becomes available, I'm gonna be raving about that. I feel it in my bones. Just really delicious stuff. And as I said, thinking about some of these big ideas of statecraft and bureaucracy and rulership and what it takes to engage with huge systems of power and protection, of what it means to care for huge populations. Really, really good stuff. And so, of course, we had to have a drink. Our drink today is the King of Yarrowdale, because, as I said, we're in this client state that's sort of at the periphery, at the outskirts of the Canem Empire. And the role of kingship plays an interesting part of A Drop of Corruption. We have this exploration, because it's a very foreign concept to this heavily bureaucratic, heavily egalitarian empire, Canem, to representatives of that, to come to what is a very traditional and in some ways backwards part of the world. So we're going to start with 1.5 ounces of white rum. I'm using the Probitas blended rum. I really love this rum for cocktails. It's just a little bit funky, not quite as grassy as the cachaça we used for Book 1, The Tainted Cup, but a rum that's going to have a really powerful presence to it, that's going to stand alongside the other ingredients that we have in our cocktail. And we'll get 3/4 of an ounce of dry vermouth. Lovely. Bringing a bit of lightness, bringing a bit of an herbal quality, bringing a crisp, refreshing bit to our King of Yarrowdale. Get 1/2 ounce of lime cordial. We see the use of lime in the book to sort of cover scent. So much of how some of these augmentations work is tied to scent and memory. Scent as a way of tracking. Scent just pervades this world. It's a very sensorial setting. You know, thinking about depriving your senses for clarity, thinking about expanding your senses for information. Just really very smart, very fun books. So we're going to get 1/2 ounce of that in there. Lovely. And then finally, we are going to get 1/4 ounce of Campari. Just a little bit. Not quite a drop, but about a drop, if you will. We have an extended series of scenes and a custom within this kingdom of this bright red, sort of super bitter tea. And what's red and bitter? Campari. So we're going to get that down in there as well, bringing that bit of bittersweetness, bringing that bit of weight and refreshing quality to our King of Yarrowdale. We'll set this aside for a moment, get our glass, and we're going to rim the edge of the glass with salt. So I've got my salt here in the dish. I'm going to dampen the edge because we're here on the seaside. We're here with islands in the sea and strange happenings in the jungles. I really like to damp the edge of the glass with a damp paper towel, just making sure that we have enough water on the edge of the glass to pick up that salt as we rotate it down in that kosher sea salt. Perfect. Get that a good solid coating there. You can see we've got a nice rim of salt on the edge of our glass. We can set that aside and continue to make our cocktail. And now you see, we talk all the time here on Bar Cart Bookshelf about adding your ice last, because you never know when you're going to have a distraction or find some part of the process that you need to carry out further. We don't want that ice to have been waiting down in here, cooking our cocktail while we were rimming the glass. So now we get our ice in, always adding our ice last whenever we make a recipe, because that's what dilutes, that's what blends our ingredients, and give that a nice solid stir until the ice and the liquid are roughly at equilibrium. This can be 15 seconds, 20 seconds, it can be just as long as it needs to be. But we want the ice and the liquid to be good together. Everything's diluted, blended, and all the flavors have their chance to melt. Get our handy dandy julep strainer, get the glass that we prepared, and strain into the glass. Perfect. Set that aside. And there you have it. This is the King of Yarrowdale, inspired by A Drop of Corruption. A Drop of Corruption is available today. A huge thank you to the publisher Del Rey for sending me a finished copy. I am so grateful, because I was sending emails the minute I saw that this was going to be available. I'm very happy with A Drop of Corruption, and I think that all of you out here as followers of Bar Cart Bookshelf are going to have a great time as well. I've got a link to snag it in the description down below, as well as links to various forms of social media, including Blue Sky and Instagram, where there is always a written version of today's recipe. Got a link to snag my book, Cocktails and Consoles, 75 Cocktails and Mocktails Inspired by the Wonderful World of Video Games. Try the drink. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Hit that like button. It really makes me so happy when you do. Subscribe if you haven't already so you never miss an episode. We've got some really great books that we're going to be talking about here in April, May, into June, as we head through spring and into the summer. As I said, try the drink. Let me know what you think. And until next time, cheers.